Hello everyone and welcome to Linux master commands. So we're going to introduce the most commonly used Linux commands today. First of all, we're going to start with a small introduction to understand what Linux is made of. Okay, what is the structure of Linux, which is an operating system, almost as Windows, but of course it's somewhat different. Okay, so let's start with that. Okay, so first of all, um, okay, what is Linux made of? Okay, what is the structure of the Linux operating system? So everything in Linux is treated as a file. It's a file system. So even devices such as hard drives, CD-ROMs are treated as devices. Okay, so what are the main directory types in Linux? You have, first of all, the general files such as images, text files, sound files, the common files that are the ordinary files, also they are called, that are used by users usually, okay, such as a sound file, an image, a video, etc. Second, directory files, okay, so for the directory files, you have files that are used to other file types, such as you have the main entry point to other subdirectories. Okay, so for example, /dev is a file system for the devices. Okay, these are directory files. Device files. The device files are files that describe and that carry the configuration of devices such as hard drives, such as CD-ROMs, such as other whatever devices you have on the system. Okay, so what is the main architecture of Linux? Okay, what is it made of? So you see in Windows, for instance, okay, you have, for example, the C hard drive. From C, you have program files, you have the Windows folder, you have different folders. Here, the folders are called directories, okay? And each configuration is a file system, unlike Windows, so the structure is different. So each configuration file, even the hard drives, even every type of resource in the system is a file system, okay? It's actually described as a file. So in Linux, you have, first of all, we start with the root here, okay? So this is the root. This is the starting point of all directories. Just like in Windows, you have the C as a main starting point, okay? So that's the root directory. From it, you have different subdirectories, okay? You have, for instance, the /bin directory. It contains all executables, all binary executable programs. /etc, for instance, it carries all the system configuration files. /home, which is the home directory, just like you have in it desktop, you have documents, like in Windows, you have desktop, you have the pictures folder, the documents folder. Here, it's somewhat similar. Home is the home directory. It is the default current directory in a Linux system. /opt, okay, which actually stands for optional. It carries all the third-party software. Okay, so let's say you're installing a software into Linux. Okay, a third party like something programmed by another company, something like what are we, yeah, something like Python or things like that. Okay, these are third-party software applications that will be installed. Okay, in the /opt. Okay, so it contains all third-party software. /tmp or temporary. Okay, in the /tmp you have a temporary space which is usually cleared on reboot. Okay, it works actually like a cache file system. /usr, which is stands for user. Okay, it contains all user related programs. Finally, /var, it contains all log files. Okay, so you have other directory file types such as the /boot. Okay, the /boot is a directory that contains all boot related information, files and folders such as the configuration file, the grub, okay, bootloader, which is the bootloader, okay. Uh, Slash dev stands for devices. It's the file system that carries all device file systems, okay. It is where the device information are stored, and where also we can mount. Actually, we cannot mount on slash dev. You have another directory for mounting, which is the slash mount, okay. But here it tells you what are the devices that exist in the operating that are attached to the system. Okay. Slash lib, it contains syntax libraries, okay, which is libraries, just like you have programming libraries. Other directories, you have slash media, which is a file system for what? For every other removable device, like USB flash drive, okay? So the info of such removable devices would be stored in the slash media, such as the drivers for such devices. Slash sbin is similar to slash bin, except that the slash s bin, okay, stands for secure bin, okay, it stands for secure binaries. So it contains only the programs that are can only be executed by an administrator or a root user, okay. Root is the highest administrator level in a system, so either by root or another user that has root privileges, okay. These files or programs can only be executed by high privileged users, okay, that have administrator password. Slash sys contains system file that stores and allows modification of devices connected to the system, okay. Now you have also our other useful access files such as slash proc slash stat. So proc is the directory in which you have the stat, okay? So the stat is a file that contains the system statistics such as CPU usage, CPU operation, internet usage, okay, the packets, packet flow, number of total processes, and number of running processes. Slash proc slash mount, another one, which displays the architecture of the mounted file system, okay, the mounted file system information, okay, which is the mounting of different drives that are mounted in the system, okay. Like you can mount a drive, okay, uh, in the system, okay. You can mount it in the system using the slash proc slash mount. Finally, slash var slash log slash last log, for example. Last log is a file contained within the log directory contained within var. It stores the log information of a user during his last login.